Two guys either side of 50 with one dream to achieve middle-aged sporting glory. This is the Missing Links Golf Show. Pilgrims, welcome back to the caravan for episode 36 of the Missing Links Golf Show. I'm Steve Hinks, joined by Andy Walker in the driver's seat of the caravan.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Hinks. How you going?
I'm well. I'm very well. Got to say, though, I don't think caravans necessarily have driver's seats. It's more a camper van that would have a driver's seat, or an RV.
Correct. Yeah.
An RV potentially, but that's okay. Maybe we're in the club lounge of the caravan. Maybe that's more where we are.
Yeah, look, I'm more than happy to spend some time in the club lounge, maybe with a couple of glasses of red and a bit of conversation. Ooh. But that'd be nice.
Very nice.
Maybe around the campfire.
Campfire just outside the caravan.
Yeah. I reckon that'd be pretty decent as well.
I do like the sound of that. I might do a fire in the fire pit this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I like the sound of
it's that sort of weather.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Winter in the Central West.
Morning, when I got up this morning, it wasn't quite as cold as what it is out your way, but it was 4 degrees Celsius.
Oh, it's balmy.
Which I'm not sure what the conversion is to Fahrenheit, but yeah.
That would be, I reckon, about 36 or something like that.
Yeah, but it's not too far from the freezing line, which in Celsius is 0.
So you don't really get a frost around your place, do you?
We had a little bit of a frost about a week ago, but not really. No, we're not. Of course, we're coastal. We don't really get too much of a frost. When I was living in Western Sydney, yes, we got frost out there, but now that I'm a coast boy, back to being on the coast, it's we don't get frosts on the coast.
Mate, let me tell you, over west of the mountains, on the central west slopes and plains, frosty McFrostville. Very, very chilly in the mornings, but that's okay. It's all good. That was off topic, but that's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, back to the script, if there was such a thing. We were in...
Do we ever have a script?
Nah, they're overrated. The last thing that you want to do is to sound, wooden and reading like a newsreader or something like that. So I think it's much better. We're very natural here at the Missing Links Golf Show. Agricultural, perhaps.
I like it.
Last episode, we were talking about your preparations for the Carnarvon Senior Open or Senior Championships, whatever it may be, scheduled for today, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it was.
How did it go, Andy Walker?
It didn't go.
Oh, no.
And let's just put this in perspective. It had nothing to do with my injury.
Well, that is good.
I didn't pull out.
That is good. That is good.
But there was a spate of wet weather in Sydney over the weekend and, just a little bit too much for the golf course. So the golf course was closed.
That is very disappointing.
So they have actually rescheduled the Carnarvon Seniors to September the 16th.
September the 16th. Okay. Well, I mean, weather should be nice in September.
Yeah, be a little bit warmer.
Yeah,
coming into our spring.
Yeah,
in September, which should be very, very nice. Going to be a busy month for golf in September.
What else you got?
From the start of the month, there's the Glenmore Seniors, which is a New South Wales Senior Open qualifying. The Magenta Seniors, which is a New South Wales Senior Open qualifying, and now the Carnarvon Cup, which is a New South Wales Senior Open qualifying. So there's three chances. Three now in September. I'm going to play in a couple of other Senior Opens in September as well. Now a very busy month of September.
It is a busy month. Better make sure that injury of yours is fully healed by the time September rolls around.
Well, I am, because because we are obviously in a yearly championship, and I don't want to rack up a -1 on the
No.
score sheet. I am going to play in the comp tomorrow and just see how I go.
Well, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We will hear all about that in following episodes, but not tonight. So, well, we don't have any results of the Carnarvon Seniors to talk about to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. However, all is not lost, because we had lined up a special guest to come and chat with us in this episode. In fact, a guest who originally was on the tee sheet with you at Carnarvon, but also had withdrawn from that event before it was cancelled. So anyway, it's a long-winded way of saying that it didn't really make any difference. But a very good friend of the show was, in fact, our very first guest, Andy Walker, that we ever had on the show.
Yes, my good mate David McClelland, who I actually played with at Camden.
You did?
He was in the same group. So it was my inaugural appearance in a senior amateur event, and he was right alongside me. So look, I mean, we've talked about my performance from my perspective. But there was a couple of things that I wanted to understand. But firstly, what his perspective of my performance was. But secondly, I've become aware of a couple of different pathways with the Senior Order of Merit to get into the New South Wales Senior Open. So I wanted to bring him back and have a bit of a chat to him on the show about how, what different pathways I've got to be able to qualify for the New South Wales Senior Open in November. And then he's obviously had some exploits himself representing Australia at the against the armed forces. So yeah, he's had a little bit going on as well. So it was just wanted to get him back and have a bit of a chit chat about what's been going on.
Yep, that sounds like a fantastic idea. I am definitely keen to hear about Dave's appraisal of your performance in Camden.
He's a hard taskmaster.
He is. As you've rightly pointed out, we've heard only one side of that story, so I'm very keen to hear what he made of your first foray into seniors golf. And likewise, just any stories from anyone that we know that's represented their country in any sport, but particularly this sport. Just fantastic, absolutely brilliant to be able to hear about that.
That's also not the first time that he's represented our country. So there's been a couple of times in there. So be good to get in and have a bit of a chat to him about what it's like to represent all Australia. Yep.
And I guess the other thing as well is it's always good fun having a chat with DMC. He's a funny guy, and he brings a lot to the conversation. So I have no doubt that this conversation will go in many, many different directions other than what we intended it to when we first get him on the line. But Andy Walker, shall we
doesn't mind a tangent, DMC.
Shall we invite him to take a seat with us by the campfire in the caravan? And or not, the campfire's not in the caravan, Pilgrims. I should be clear about that.
We don't want to burn the caravan.
We don't want to burn the place down. No, we're outside the caravan. We're sitting around. We're at the campground. We've got the fire crackling in the background. I can see DMC. He's just pulled up over in the parking lot. I think we should wave him down and invite him over to take a camp chair and have a chat with the Pilgrims. What do you reckon?
Let's bring him in.
All right. Come on, Dave. Andy Walker, an old friend, and I put emphasis on the word old when I talk about that, has joined us again on the show. Historic moment. This is our first repeat guest, although I feel from that head shake and my rather insulting remark about his age that this could be it. Who have we got, Andy?
Well, it could be it, or maybe just like a hang up sort of,
it could be the quickest interview we've ever done.
Just a click on the end of the phone, but
wow,
no, he's all good. Look, we've got as our second time guest. I'd like to welcome to the show my good mate and mentor, Mr. David McClelland. How you going, mate?
Not too bad, Mr. Walker and Mr. Hicks. How are you both? Thanks. You're both looking really well and getting greyer every day I see you.
Yeah, it's a race.
Yeah. It is. It
It's
is. We've had some injuries as well, so
yeah.
feeling like we need to sort of lather up the Voltaren and maybe a couple of anti-inflammatories. But
Yep.
we're in the seniors, so we're not quite in
Just
the.
remember,
We've still got a junior here, so
Yep.
another
Yep.
sort of 6 months or so.
6 months to go.
What is it actually?
February next
It's
year.
February next year. So where are we now? We're nearing the end of June.
About
Seven and a half months. Wow. I hadn't done that maths before. That's a bit frightening.
It is scary when you get to that age and all of a sudden it sneaks up on you. I must admit, the day after I turned 55, I played Royal Melbourne West Course, Composite Course, and East Course in the seniors. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good, actually. Wouldn't mind doing that myself. What a great way to celebrate a birthday.
Day one.
Oh, yeah, it was wonderful.
Well, another salubrious course that you have played recently, DMC, so I am told, with some scintillating company, was down at Camden recently. Now, we have covered this event in a little bit of detail, but we've only had Andy Walker's word for it. So I'm interested to hear from an eyewitness to my podcast hosting partner's first foray into the seniors world, seen as tournament golf. How did it go?
Well, it was quite interesting. Camden, the old Studley Park Golf Club, has come a long way from the 70s, where it was out in the sticks and nobody had ever heard of it.
Just quietly, Andy Walker's come a long way from the 70s as well.
Was he born in the 70s? I'm not quite sure.
Yes, he was.
72.
Yeah.
Yes, well, we won't go into birth dates because of various other issues.
Yeah, copyright.
But anyway, he came, 8 o'clock hit off down at Royal Studley Park. And I've got to say, he came prepared. He hadn't picked up a club in a week. He had tapered the week before, but tapering doesn't mean stopping totally, as we talked in the last podcast. More importantly, he shot 74.
It's pretty good.
And his good was very, very good. And his bad was very, very bad.
Yes.
I don't know whether he told you about the short par 4 where he missed the fairway by 90 metres.
Ooh.
Yeah,
was that the 9th or the 10th?
No, that was about 12, where I actually hit it into the water hazard on the other side of the other fairway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wowza.
It wasn't a shank because a driver doesn't have an actual shaft in that area. But let's just say that it went at a 35-degree angle right, and it actually went further right. But give him his dues, he shot 74. He was 2 shots off winning. So one bad shot, just one bad shot, cost him probably winning on a countback. That's not bad for a young fella.
Well, I think the double through 9 and 10 didn't really help me too much. I was pretty confident up until then. I mean, that birdie putt from was about sort of 9-10 feet on 8 that I actually started doing the Kevin Na walk in.
Oh no!
And it just sort of turned right at the hole and missed, and then like 9 was just appallingly bad, as bad as what my tee shot was on 13. My little snappy hook utility iron was just an absolute shocker on the 9th and made a nice little 5 from the trees.
But you must remember that this is his first contention event, so the pressure was on.
This is true.
No matter what you say, if you finish one bad shot or 2 shots total out of winning, that's not bad for your first effort, because I think the last event he played in, I think it was in excess of the 80 that he had. So this is a big change and a good change in the right direction.
No, it definitely is. Although it also spawns a little thought in my mind as well, which I just want to run by you, Dave, because I know, when we're in school, and if you think back to sort of the early years of school, there was always that one kid who was a superstar in, year 6 or year 7 and then never amounted to anything. And they call it peaking early, all right? My concern, seeing Andy Walker come out of the blocks so well in his seniors career, is has he peaked early? Is this as good as it's going to get?
Well, there is another term that starts with premature that we're always talking about, but we won't go down that track because I think this is not an R-rated situation.
No. We're family friendly here at the Missing Links Golf Show, that's for sure.
But I must say that I don't think you can peak too early in this event because you've got to be really ready to go. From what I'm seeing of these under 50s, and we won't go into the junior seniors as we call them, they're ready to win. I played the Australian match play with a fellow the other day that it's his first ever game. For 6 games of golf, he shot 12 under par. So these youngsters that are coming through have got to be ready to go straight away. It's no doubt. You've got to be into it. Like on the US PGA Tour, they come out of university, they're ready to win. Look at Lucas, what's his name? Aberg.
Yes, Ludwig.
Ludwig Aberg.
Ludwig, yeah.
He's ready to go. So don't worry about the word premature XXX. Worry about when's the next one I'm going to win.
I think that's good advice, Andy Walker. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, look, I think that's very good advice. And to be honest with you, I mean, look, we've covered, many times the lack of golf I've played over the last 25 years. And since we've started the podcast, I've probably played more golf in the last 8 months than what I've played in the prior 25 years. And I feel as though that's really put me back on track to start playing some good golf. So I actually think this is just the beginning. I think there's a parabolic curve here that we're just at the start of.
I know they're big words, aren't they, Dave?
I was going to say logarithmic because it goes up. The further you go along the line, the steeper it gets. But parabolic actually has an indication that it goes down at the other end by my calculations.
Yes, it does. Y equals X squared or vice versa. And I wonder whether or not you're at the top of the parabola already.
You've doubted me before.
Oh,
I think after the Macquarie Cup, I think you're all over my away game, and I seem to have sort of silenced those critics.
I think I'd speak for all of the Pilgrims though when I cast a bit of doubt over the potential performances. We're not here just to boost each other up. I mean, there's a bit of that happens from time to time, but we certainly got to, play the devil's advocate from time to time and call it as we see it. So
I'm going to play the devil's advocate for both of you.
Here we go.
In September, the New South Wales Veteran Golfers Association are playing their stroke play championship at Dubbo.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, didn't you know that one?
No, I didn't.
And it's open to over 50s, I believe, Mr. Walker.
Oh,
you're a bit too young, Steve. Just damn missed it.
Come on.
But you could caddy for him.
That's a great idea.
I could.
And it does count to the Senior Order of Merit.
Oh, how good is that?
I didn't actually see that in the Golf New South Wales calendar. So is that you got to be in the know.
Yeah, by invitation only, it sounds. This is exciting. This is an announcement, ladies and gentlemen. This is big news.
Yes, the Veteran Golfers Association are having their championship at Dubbo Golf Club. Steve Hinks will now be caddying for Andrew Walker.
I do know the course.
Holes.
I do know the course pretty well, in fairness, so I can certainly tell you all the places where not to miss it. Been there.
That doesn't mean anything for Andrew.
Yeah, I think I found them over the Easter long weekend. So
don't go 3 feet up the tree on the third. Is probably the advice.
Oh, there's a story I'd like to hear sometime.
Oh, there is. We've got video footage of him trying to hit the ball out of the tree, stuck in the bark, 3.5 feet up the trunk. It was quite spectacular. Many other players.
There's a new podcast for you.
Many other players would have taken an unplayable drop at that point, Dave, but not our Andy Walker. He thought that he could lay the club over and baseball swing at it left-handed.
It's got to be the aggressive route. All you know, all my life it's been the aggressive route. You've got to just play what's in front of you and take it on.
And lose the club championship at Mollymook to an old bloke.
Yeah, there is that.
As a 14-year-old.
Dave, before we slide too far down the you and me teaming up and sledging Andy Walker for the next hour, which, trust me, it's appealing. It's definitely got its attractions.
So does that mean I'm hanging up? you guys can just have a chat and I'll hang up.
Oh, that'll be a first in the podcast. I am curious to know, with your review of your younger playing partner at the Camden Seniors, how did you feel about his distance with his driver and fairway? I don't know if you're aware, but he did get a fitting for a new driver and fairway wood and utility iron, which I've not seen in action yet, but I'm repeatedly told is considerably longer than anyone else that he ever plays with. So any thoughts that you'd like to share on
That's
distance off the tee?
Well, he did bring out the TSR3 Titleist driver, which surprisingly I've also had for about 6 months now.
Ooh.
And surprisingly, he only hit it about 55 metres or 55 paces past me most times. And even more scaringly, is that the quite word?
Yeah, it'll do.
He hit it straight. He hit it straight.
Mm.
He hit it
with
long.
the exception of the 12th hole.
One shot.
We're all allowed one bad shot in a round.
Oh, no, there was a few others, but that one bad shot cost him the win.
Oh, dear. Now, on that topic, I think if you've got one piece of advice, you've seen him go around in his first event, if you've got one piece of advice either for something to change for next time or something to go away and work on, what would you highlight? What do you think let him down?
One of the biggest things in senior golf is not to make the big score, not to make the 6, the 7 or the 8.
Yeah.
If you can, the worst score you're going to make is make a bogey, then you can put that in the bag, because Andrew, as was evident at Camden, I think made 6 birdies or something like that. So you can actually make it back, but making a 7 or 8 or a 9 just takes you out altogether. And I think he said, was it 9, 10 and 12? He made 6 over for those 3 holes. If he was only 1 over for those 3 holes, he wins by 1.
Yeah. Do you think that is a course management / mental approach issue, or is that an execution technical golf swing issue? With
all due respects, I think it's a mental golf management issue, because each of those holes were relatively simple. It's just that when you make a bad swing, you don't compound it with your next one or your next one. So most issues we're all human. We're going to make a bad swing sooner or later. I make more than most, but the idea is the worst case scenario is you make a bogey. And that's what you need to do, particularly in a 18-hole round. 18 holes is a sprint. 54 holes, you might get away with a double bogey or a triple bogey, but not in 18 holes. You've got to make sure your worst score is a bogey.
So how do you feel that you went with your own advice, Camden?
I think the term loft sometimes runs into it, lack of talent.
Wow.
But I've got to say that my performance on that day was less than admirable, and it got to a stage where I was laughing at myself because of the poor performance. The 6 Ps certainly weren't working on that day.
Dave, Andy and I had a bit of a chat about this last week that I think it was 2 episodes ago now. We released an episode which we titled How to Break 80. You're welcome to tune in and download that one and have a listen at your leisure.
Oh, absolutely. I'm probably need it the way my mental attitude is going at the moment. But then on the other side of the equation, I have been doing this for 8 years, and Andy is but a mere speck in the background at the moment.
I'm chasing. I'm chasing.
This is a
What
fact.
number are you in the order of merit, Andy?
Tie for 153. I think it is.
Wow. What's your target?
After one event. One event.
What's your target?
Oh, look, that's part of the discussion, I guess, is because we've discussed about the New South Wales Senior Open and how I'd love to qualify for the New South Wales Senior Open down at Thaguna at the first weekend of November. So I know that there's a couple of different pathways to get there, which I've identified a few senior events. Camden was one of them, and Carnarvon, which we were meant to play yesterday. No, today. Yeah, today. But it was unfortunately washed out. So there's a couple of events that I'm playing in which could potentially lead to a pathway into the New South Wales Senior Open. But I know there's also an order of merit pathway for the seniors. So maybe if you can have a bit of a chat about that, and then I'll be able to make up my mind as to where I'm meant to be aiming.
Well, certainly the New South Wales Order of Merit for seniors, which is over 50, and the New South Wales Senior Open down at Thaguna is over 50 for both the pros and the amateurs. The top 10 get an automatic invitation down there. So if you're in the top 10 in the New South Wales Senior Order of Merit, you get an invitation down there from Golf New South Wales. Other than that, the winners of certain events, like you're talking about Camden, Magenta, and a few of the others that are coming along, St Michael's, I think, is another one, the Lakes and all those sort of areas, they are an immediate entry straight away. And last year, when I went down there, Thaguna is a great golf course for the pros and the amateurs because it's fair for both. So it's one of those ones when you're playing with pros, you automatically improve yourself. Yes, I fell at the second last hurdle. I made a mistake and made double, missed the cut by 2. But getting in the top 10 tells you that you are actually starting to perform like a senior pro. And there are so many former pros that are now playing the senior amateur ranks, and I could rattle off half a dozen.
Right.
They recognise how important this tour is. So getting in that top 10 to play in Thaguna, and you'd be amazed how many people are actually following you down there playing in that event. They love seeing the amateurs play the pros. And as an amateur, you love beating the pros. I don't care what you say. You got to beat the pros.
What number are you at the moment, DMC?
11.
Oh.
1 out.
Oh.
1 out.
Oh. Oh, wow.
So then how does the order of merit work? Because I got 85 points for my 4th place at Camden. So what's the and you're up around 600 or 642 and a half or thereabouts. So I've got to sort of get up into the
thereabouts with a decimal point.
Yeah, 642 and a half. I didn't even know that. There you go.
0.55.
Yeah.
So 150 points for the winner. And if you are tied as a winner, you both get 150 points.
Ooh.
Then it flows down to second place is 125, then 110, 105 and 100, and so on to about, I think it's about 30th spot. And we call that the pity point. You get 1 pity point, one only, for about 30, and we call it the pity point mark. But you've got to have at least 14 rounds of golf in the Senior Order of Merit. And as you get to the 15th, if you get to the 15th, you drop out your worst score and you bring in your next score. If you get to the 16th game, you drop out your 2 worst and get in your best.
Bit like the handicapping system, really.
So it's really important to get 14 games up. So
do you have to get 14 to qualify, or can you, if you only play, say, 10 or 11?
Bad luck. Bad luck. Then you've got to rely on an invitation from Golf New South Wales because nobody else is able to play. So how many games are you going to get in, with your allowances?
It's not going to be 14, I think.
Counting them up already.
It's not going to be 14.
It's about maybe 9.
I think I've got 14 in already. Oh, what a shame.
It's okay. It's only year one.
14.
It's year one of the show. I think the focus is year two.
Focus
Is year two. It's year one. This is a preparation year for Andy Walker, getting some tournament reps under his belt.
There's a couple of other little twists with this that the youngsters coming through need to be aware of. New Zealand senior is over 50. So you can go over and play in the New Zealand senior as a 50-year-old and win the New Zealand senior. And that's an important thing. It's not counted in the New South Wales or Australian Order of Merit. But if you win the New Zealand senior, I tell you what, the Australian selectors are looking pretty hard at you.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure how much chance I've got of getting across to New Zealand this year. We're just having a conversation before we went on air that I've managed to get a few events and a few more than what I expected across the line with management. So I'm pretty happy about that. Getting to New Zealand, I don't know. I reckon I may struggle. But look, I'll give it a crack.
Give it a crack. I mean, the Missing Links Golf Show management run a very tight ship. So it's not. And I was thinking, Dave, whilst you were talking, I don't know which is harder for Andy, winning the New Zealand senior or getting to New Zealand in the first place.
I think I know, and I think Andrew knows.
I think we all know, to be honest. Rhetorical question. So the senior order of merit. So how many events roughly would there be in a 12-month period? I'm assuming this runs January to December. Is that right, or is it financial year?
No, you might be surprised with this. The New South Wales runs to November, and the Australian Order of Merit runs from 1 November to 31 October. Now, that sounds a bit strange, but they have two differing things. As we know, Golf New South Wales and Golf Australia don't necessarily get on that well. So they each have different sort of selection. New South Wales is over 50, Australia is over 55. So the last event for New South Wales is usually Cromer, where we have lunch and presentations of all, and that's usually in November. This year, because there's so many events, I think there's over 50 events, it's been moved to December.
Right.
And Queensland has about equivalent number of events, and Victoria has an equivalent number of events. So if you really want to travel between the three eastern seaboard states, you could really do some damage to your bank account.
Mm. And how many events would you usually play in a year, Dave?
25 to 30. That's in New South Wales. And the Australian Order of Merit, I'll probably end up playing 8 or 9.
Yeah, right. It's quite a lot.
So we were sort of talking that you're heading down to Victoria to play in the Victorian Seniors in September. Yeah, because it's very close to when they've rescheduled Carnarvon too. So and that's Barwon Heads and 13th Beach.
That's right. So you've got one round of Barwon Heads, one round at 13th Beach Creek course, and one 13th Beach River course, I think it's called. And that's where the Victorians Open is played, when the males and females all play together. That's at 13th Beach.
Nice. And
I tell you what, when the wind blows down there, it's a test. And even more interesting, Barwon Heads, if you stand on the first tee at Barwon Heads Golf Club, you look like you're looking over New South Wales Golf Club. I rate Barwon Heads as a beautiful windswept, course, and 13th Beach is great. And the hospitality down there at 13th Beach is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. But it's one of those events of the major Australian events. You want to play the Victorian Senior. You want to play the Australian Senior, which is this year at Links Lady Bay, just south of Adelaide. You want to play the National at the National Golf Club, because you play the Old Course, the Moona Course and the Gunnamatta Course. And you want to play the Gold Coast International, which is middle of next month, which just happens to be at Sanctuary Cove, Pines and Palm. What a shame.
Beautiful spot.
And I'm assuming they're all 55 though, aren't they?
Queensland's 55, Victoria's 55, the National's 55, yes.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of years to worry about that. But New South Wales, we've got one coming up at Newcastle and Horizons. I've just been told as of a couple of days ago, they are confirmed to be 50-year-old, not 55. So it's 18 at Newcastle and 18 at Horizons. And that's an Australian Order of Merit event, but 50-year-olds just can't get points.
Ah, okay. So if you go in and win that, then like you can obviously New South Wales Order of Senior Order of Merit, but nothing for Australian.
No,
Order
you're
of
just
Merit.
very unpopular for
Australia.
all of the over 55s, I guess.
Yeah, we
the
call
points.
them junior seniors.
Junior seniors. I like it. It's nice. It's nice. So that would make me a senior junior.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You're not quite 50 yet, so you're a senior junior.
I'm a senior junior. Andy's a junior senior. And you're
And
a
I'm
senior.
just a senior
You're
senior.
Senior. I'm glad we've cleared that up. That makes complete sense.
Yeah, clear as mud.
Yeah. No, that's outstanding. Right. Well, I think there's been a few other little things going on in the background. If my intelligence agents are doing their job properly, that we probably need to hear about from you, Dave. And this is to do with some representative honours that you may have had in recent times.
Oh, you have been hearing things through the grapevine.
Oh, I have. Ear to the ground.
Since our last chat, I was selected in the Australian team to play the combined armed forces, the Army, Navy and Air Force down at Portsea.
How good is that?
Yeah, it was wonderful to go down there. The Army, Navy and Air Force have a history of some very, very good golfers. And I've played against them when I was representing New South Wales years ago. But this year, going down to Portsea and staying at the club at Portsea, so there's no driving, which was even better, in case we had to have some alcohol, all that sort of stuff.
It can happen.
And the good news was, of course, Golf Australia beat the Army, Navy and Air Force, which was really good. It's nice for a change. And, we had basically one from every state playing, from Canberra, Northern Territory, WA, New South Wales, Victoria. One of our Victorian players decided to fall over and do an ankle after round 2.
Ooh.
I was actually watching him walk down the slope and he failed to negotiate it. He wasn't drunk. He was stone cold sober.
Was that the problem?
And we had to, it could be the problem. We called in a replacement who's a member of Portsea, 13-time club champion Alan Bullis, to play for us. What a shame to have that as a replacement.
Yeah, that's handy.
Nice.
Yeah, and then a little while later, I was asked to be the non-playing captain for New South Wales against Victoria down at Toowoomba. And that was really exciting. The first time I've been asked to represent the state in a managerial capacity. Victoria have a very, very strong team, particularly of ladies. And after the first 2 rounds being 4-ball and foursomes like Ryder Cup, we were 7-3 down. So we're coming to the last day and we've got 10 matches. We won the first 5. We were 8-7 ahead.
Come on, New South Wales.
And then they won the rest.
No. Heartbreak. It's like you get in front and then you just want the heavens to open. Call it off.
Well, I was thinking up the Ryder Cup things like the tidal wave at Toowoomba, the miracle at Merion or whatever it was for the Ryder Cup. But in the end, it was the tearful at Toowoomba. But we can't have everything.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit similar to the US Open last week and our discussion from Rory's form, where he sort of was behind and came back and got in front and then lost it over the last few holes.
So, some of those memes where they just tap it in and the hole is 10 foot wide and he misses the hole. I don't know whether you've seen it, but those memes are very cruel.
Yeah.
How can people be so unkind?
Oh, they seem to manage it quite nicely, Dave, I think is the reality. We might have had a hand in some of that as well a week ago. But, look, I think heartbreaking for Rory, fantastic for Bryson. Really interested to see what, if anything, this does to golf's civil war between LIV and the PGA Tour as well, with another win to a live golfer who, so they say, can't play 4-round competitions with a cut. Just can't do it because they don't do it week in, week out.
Well, there was a rumour going around that they were going to test his putter because apparently it doesn't have 6 degrees of angle on it. Now, I don't know whether anybody's heard about this, and I wasn't aware of this particular rule, but that rumour's been going around the internet, flying around like a jet.
I can comment on this because I have then clicked on the link on these that take you to further information. It's a remarkable thing with internet technology these days that you can do. Apparently...
They're called scammers, aren't they?
Don't click on those links, okay? But quite often, when you get past the headlines, you get more information, which is good. Apparently, his putter has been tested, Dave, and it does conform, and it conforms by about 1 degree or something like that. Like it's right on it's right on the line. So yes, my sources tell me fully compliant, albeit looks ridiculous. And I can't for a moment imagine how you could putt with such a thing, but he seems to pull it off.
Well, I've got to say that in all the years that I've been playing the senior circuit, I've never seen any club being tested, nor anybody having to give a urine sample for drugs, which is probably really good for us old blokes because you never know what you might find in the drug sample, you know what I mean?
Yeah, overdose of codeine, ibuprofen.
Voltaren, Mobic, beta blockers, all the above.
Yeah, Shiraz.
Shiraz. I forgot about Shiraz.
Yeah, it's a very important ingredient in seniors golf. This is exciting though. I want to hear more about these representative honours that you've had though, Dave, because I know it was shortly after we had you on the show previously that the Australian team was announced to take on the armed services. And that's not the first time you've represented Australia, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right, back at pre-COVID times, which sounds like centuries ago. Yeah. I was lucky enough to be selected in the Australian team to go to Kuala Lumpur to play in the Asia Pacific Senior Championship. So we've got the normal Asia Pacific, which is an entry into the British Open and US Open, all that sort of stuff. But the Asia Pacific Senior Championship gets you automatic entry in, if you win it, into the British Senior Open.
Wow.
And the US Senior Open. So we went up there, the Australian team, a couple from Queensland, a couple from Victoria, myself from New South Wales and Kenny Brewer from New South Wales. Unfortunately, we were leading after 2 rounds. The 4 big teams are Japan, Korea, New Zealand and Australia. And we were leading the Korea easily, Japan quite easily, but New Zealand was quite a strong team with 2 former pros, Brad Patterson, Stuart Duff, and a couple of the other players. And we were leading by 3 going into the last round. And I think I had the best score of the team in the last round, which was 74 around what they call the presidential course at Sungai Long. But unfortunately, a couple of other players didn't play that well. We end up losing by 3. So 3 ahead to the Kiwis, losing by 3. And that's rather disappointing when you have a Kiwi wife.
Oh.
Yes.
She's not listening at the moment, I hope. Oh, yes, she is. She just said that. So there's a number of representative teams. So the 3 big events to play in order, if you're an Australian senior rep to play in the Asia Pacific Senior, that's the pinnacle.
Mm.
The second one is against the Kiwis, to be selected in an Australian team to play against the Kiwis. Every couple of years you play over in New Zealand and then reverse in Australia. And the third level is against the Army, Navy and Air Force. I've got two of the 3 of those. I'm missing the game against the Kiwis. Mm. Look, it's going to be tough with all the new blokes coming through. They're very, very good.
The Andy Walkers of the world. Yep.
Well, I was thinking the actual 55-year-olds, not the young seniors.
Give it time. Give it time.
Not the junior seniors.
Junior seniors.
The junior seniors, the young seniors, yeah. But like the fellow who played up with us in the Australian match play up at Coolangatta last week, Mike Lucas from WA. Mike's played in 2 events in the Australian Order of Merit in the last 4 years. He's won 2 of them. He's won the South Australian Senior and he won the Australian Match Play last week, which was 6 games of match play in 4 days.
Wow.
We estimate that he was 12 under par for those 6 games, and he never went past the 15th hole in match play in 6 games. He's that good.
Wow, that's tough.
Oh, he's tough. He's very tough. I played him the first game. I ended up only losing 5 and 4. And some of the scores that he won by 8 and 7, 6 and 5, I'm starting to think I did all right.
Mm. It's impressive golf, though.
So then why doesn't he play in more? Is he still sort of got sort of work, business, family?
He's a greenkeeper. He's a greenkeeper at a golf course called Harvey Golf Club, 3 hours south of Perth.
Yeah,
so
right.
coming across from Perth to play these big events, Difficult. He just can't get across. And all due respects, I don't think his salary as a greenkeeper would be that high. He's a worker on the course, not the course superintendent. But I tell you what, his talent is quite phenomenal. He's a lefty. He hits it dead straight, and he's a good putter. You put those two together, and it's pretty hard to beat.
I got one of those 3.
I got none.
I'm working on 2 of them.
No, fair enough.
Wow.
But there's a couple of other things that, for a bit of levity at the end of this conversation, that came to light as recently as Sunday playing Masters Pennants.
Oh.
It's amazing how much you've got to manage your body in these events. And whether it be up in match play, Jason Thompson, who Andy Walker will probably know, he's played 6 games of golf in match play up in the Gold Coast, and he reckoned he was crippled for the last 2 because the body, playing 6 games of golf in 4 days, to manage your body in these events is important. And I played with a fellow at Masters Pennants yesterday, Darren Griffin, who I'm sure Andrew Walker's probably met around the place. He didn't manage his diet because he decided to have Indian on Saturday night.
Oh.
Yes, and the look on both of your faces expressed what happened when he got to the 10th green at Waratah Golf Club and had to make a very large exit with a great degree of worry.
And haste.
So this is an example. This is an example of why golfers wear 2 pairs of pants.
Well, he was wearing a dark pair of pants, but as I said to him, I've never seen anybody run with their cheeks so closely packed together, running towards a loo. And so health, bad backs, all that sort of stuff come to the fore, but even diet comes to the fore. So that's another couple of things to think about as you get towards 50 or 55.
Well, we have been battling with a few physical ailments over the last few episodes, Dave. So interested in your views.
For example?
Well, I mean, Andy, you've probably been in worse shape than I have. I mean, fair enough because you're older.
Look, and I actually started at Camden. I didn't. I started to feel a little bit sore, sort of just in sort of the lower side of my right ribs, and I didn't think that much about it. But then I played at Castle Hill on the Wednesday, and it was really, really sore. In fact, the last sort of 2 or 3 holes, I could barely swing. And I've gone to a chiropractor and remedial massage therapist, and they reckon that I've done either sort of soft tissue or cartilage sort of strain or injury down in the lower part of my right rib. And it's just taken a long time to recover. I haven't played since Castle Hill, which was a couple of days after Camden. So I was a little bit worried about Carnarvon. I'm actually not overly disappointed that it got rescheduled, postponed, because I was going to be underdone coming into today. So I think it's sort of worked out pretty well. I have sort of put my name down for comp round tomorrow morning, so we'll see how we go tomorrow morning. But yeah, I'm not overly disappointed that Carnarvon's been rescheduled. I played 5 holes on Saturday, so I reckon I'm okay. But it's just been a while.
The the thing about the Senior Order of Merit is that everybody will go through that at some time during the year. There's no such thing well, if you are, you're very lucky. You have 12 months of health. You've got family, you've got health, you've got travel, you've got work and all that sort of stuff. It's managing all those to fit in, the Senior Order of Merit events in New South Wales to get to that magical 14 and be in the top 10, or in the Australian Order of Merit, where you've got to get at least 5 and then be in the top 10 to get those selections. So those are the sort of things you've got to manage. But it was quite, evident over just those 2 games about Jason Thompson with his back and Darren Griffin selecting the wrong food the night before a game of golf. It's amazing how it all works together.
I feel like one of those situations is far more avoidable than the other, to be honest.
Well, as Griffo said, his wife decided they were eating Indian, not him.
Oh, okay. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Do as you're told. It's
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Getting your leave pass to play golf is important.
I mean, I suppose at least he got 10 holes in, because had he have made the other decision, he probably wouldn't have got any holes in.
Maybe. But the funny thing about it was he played a lot better golf after he found a suitable relaxant, shall we say.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Dave, no conversation with you is anything but colourful. It's outstanding.
I don't want to get bogged down in details,
Oh, no.
Could be flush with success.
We'll just wipe that one in the edit.
Nice. I like it.
Oh, dear. Oh, I'm totally off track now. But I think where are we going with this, Andy Walker?
Well,
we've lost our way.
There's a couple of things that, in terms of the Order of Merit, that whether you're 55 or older or whatever, but the planning as well. There's an event in the middle of August that everybody wants to play in. It's the Melbourne Winter Carnival, if you want, of golf. You've got to be 55, but in a span of about 10 days, you play Yarra Yarra, Commonwealth, Metropolitan, Kingston Heath, Royal Melbourne, Victoria, and a couple of others. It's basically a 2-week period. Yes, it's the middle of August, and yes, you have to be over 55, but it's one of those ones that fits in really, really well with a lot of schedules, because in August, there's not a huge amount of golf going on. I'm looking at the calendar right now, and apart from Newcastle and Horizons, there's really not a lot of others until the end of August, when you've got Grange and Kooyonga in South Australia.
Well, I've got my eye on the Port Macquarie Seaside Classic the first weekend of August.
First week of August, yes, that'd be the 3rd and 4th of August.
Yes, yeah.
Sounds good. Seaside Classic.
Yeah, so I haven't played Port Macquarie before, but it looks like a pretty good golf course.
It's a nice area.
It is. It's a wind golf course. It's on at the same time as the Northern Territory Senior Classic at Alice Springs.
Ah, okay. Yep.
And at the same time as the Coinda Cup.
Ooh.
Ah, okay.
You didn't know that, Mr. Walker?
No.
See, I do these calendars like in October the previous year and put everything on it. But Port Macquarie, I played it there last year, and it blew. And it blew me off the golf course. But it's a good golf course. The greens run at about 13.
Ooh, okay.
Speedy Gonzalez.
So if the putting's a little bit off.
Yeah.
No, look, I'm keen to play in as many of the senior events as I can, and I do have the Coinda Seniors on the 9th of September. I can see, and also the Wyong Seniors on the 30th of September.
It's on Monday the 30th of September, and that's definitely on, because we also have the Pro-Am, the Wyong Senior Pro-Am, with the likes of Peter Lonard, Peter Senior, Terry Price, coming on Wednesday the 2nd of October.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I played with Terry Price last year, and I've got to say I've never seen a guy drive it so straight and so consistently in my life. I've seen a lot of golf, and he's the best driver I've seen on a golf course.
Yeah, right.
And beating a pro is always nice.
I think this is leading us somewhere.
Yeah. So
how did the day go, Dave? Did you go okay?
I went all right, but Terry Price certainly beat me. But I just happened to beat about 2/3 of the pros, which was always nice. I didn't beat Lonard, I didn't beat Chuck Fowler and all that sort of stuff, all the big boys. But I think it's worth $15,000 this year for the Pro-Am, and people from other golf clubs are invited, shall we say. So there might be a Stephen Hinks and an Andrew Walker to play in a group on that day. If you want to have a look at that Wednesday, I think it would be about the 2nd of October, I think.
Pretty sure we could make it work.
Yeah. I reckon we can make that work.
We could then do a podcast from there.
Oh, stop it.
Nice.
Stop it.
I like it.
That does sound enticing.
I think I know somebody at the golf club at Wyong who could organise it.
Wonder who that could be.
Wow. That would be next level. That would be a lot of fun. See how we go.
So then talking about the Australian events then, Dave, what are the qualifications for the Australian events? Does it just go on handicap, or is it sort of an invitation that you get to a lot of them? How do you get into them?
Well, most of them are handicap. The hardest one to get in, surprisingly, is the event at the National Golf Club down at towards Cape Schanck. The way that handicap system is going at the moment, you've got to be on 4 or below. The Australian match play, which was just held last week at Coolangatta Tweed, 4.1. The Victorian senior tends to be probably a little bit tougher. You might be looking at 3.5 to get into that. If you go to South Australia, it's not as tough because they don't have the volume of players that everybody else. Queensland, it sounds like it should be tougher, but it's not. It's actually a bit more relaxed. So basically a handicap. The Australian Senior Links Lady Bay this year, I suspect, will be the lowest handicapping qualification so far, because the links at Lady Bay, all the golfers are talking about it and everybody want to play. Last year it was at Lake Carrinyup in Perth.
Nice.
So that gives you an idea of the quality of the golf courses coming up. The one rumour that I'm hearing very strongly is the New South Wales Senior in 2025 will be held at Monash Country Club.
Oh, okay. Monash.
So, it's basically a handicap qualification. It's basically a handicap qualification, but, most, with all reason, if you're playing reasonably good golf, you should be able to get in.
Well, my recent spate of good rounds, I'm down to 2.2. So,
oh no,
I'm chasing.
You're chasing. I'm on 1.7, and I got a 0.0 dropping off.
We need to keep track of this. This is controversial.
Yes.
What are you off, Steve?
I'm at 8.0 at the moment, Dave. So
you need to move.
I do. It's a couple down from where I was when we last spoke, though. So it's moving in the right direction.
So how did you do that?
I played better golf.
had less strokes around 18 holes.
Hit the ball fewer times.
No triples or doubles.
Certainly weeding them out as much as possible, yes. And I think, in fairness, some of the biggest changes that we've made and that have helped me has actually been the mental side of things and course management and decision making. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit in that space that can move you without changing your golf swing at all. But the thing that's probably made the biggest difference for me has been having the practice net in the garage, also known as the High Performance Centre, and the improvements on ball striking, particularly with my irons, has been substantial. So that's definitely worked a treat.
I've got to say that the week after I retired, when I decided to play a second round of golf every week on the Wednesday, just by playing golf on a Wednesday, I reckon I dropped a shot straight away, because your body doesn't have to go 7 days to play. You've got that midweek game. And as you say, by having a net in the thing, you don't necessarily have to play golf. You only have to hit, 30 or 40 balls.
Yeah, and it's not about quantity. You're right. Like, it's actually just about little and often. And what I've been trying to do is work on some specific things with Andy Walker's good mate and friend of the Missing Links Golf Show, Scotty Fisher, who gave me a little bit of video analysis a couple of months ago. So working on a couple of things, but just consistently, like every day or every couple of days hitting 10 or 20 balls. Doesn't need to be too much more than that, but just working on some of the right things, doing a few drills. And predominantly it's been around getting more depth in the takeaway. So getting the takeaway on plane, which is setting up the rest of the swing actually to be in a better position and getting the body leading the downswing rather than the arms and the hands. So getting into much better impact positions. And some simple changes, in all honesty, have made an enormous difference. Like going back a couple of months, my strokes gained data for approaches, so predominantly iron play. I was losing around about, I think it was about 4 or 5 shots to a scratch handicapper on that specific category. My last couple of rounds, I've actually been gaining a couple of shots on strokes gained with some of those differences.
Wow.
So that ball striking change has really been the difference. That's been where my game's turned around from just doing that work in the garage.
And the interesting thing, and I think Andrew would agree with me, handicaps coming down doesn't go in a very arithmetic order.
No.
It actually goes like 8. So you break to single figures and you go down a couple straight away. And I think I said this to Andrew, 30 odd years ago. You go from then 8 to 4 very quickly.
I hope so.
Then 4 to 2. It doesn't go 8, 7, 6, 5. You actually will break by 4. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll get down to 4 pretty quickly.
What I've found, which is interesting, is exactly what you're saying, that it's not a lineal progression. It's more steps and plateaus. So you have a breakthrough, you drop a few shots, you sit there for a little while, and you kind of, I think, consolidate that as well. And mentally, we've talked a lot about self-perception of sort of starting to believe that you are the player that matches that handicap as much as anything else, rather than feeling that you're getting a nosebleed from the altitude. And then, once you get sort of comfortable and you start playing to that, then you drop another few shots. But yeah, it's not like it's just this continual progression down. It's that plateauing and then improvement. So I'm hoping that I'm at the point of sort of on the verge of another improvement. Time will tell. I've got a 4.4 or something like that dropping out in one of my next couple of rounds. So I've got to come up with something to replace that to avoid blowing out at all. But I feel that it's possible. Like, I feel where my game's at the moment is definitely the velocity's moving in the right direction, which is exciting.
Excellent.
And I've got time. I'm not 50 yet.
Yeah, you've got time.
I'm still
You're not even 50 yet.
I'm in preparation phase, Dave. Total preparation phase.
So you're lifting weights and doing the 10-kilometre jogs
all the time.
Doing the resistance training?
I'm training like an Olympian.
Wow. We'll see you in Paris.
Yeah, it's just my slight hip issue at the moment that's preventing some of that training. But, other than that, it's fine. I'm just I'm working on the aches and pains in preparation for becoming a senior golfer, I think.
And I think what Andrew talked about before with the rib cartilage issue he had, and I'm only pursuing this because I think it's really important. Golfers tend to play golf and then walk straight into the bar to have a quiet beverage, shall we say. The warm down is just as important as the warm up in making sure that your body just doesn't go cold. And I don't know whether Andrew saw it, but after Camden, even though I'd had, let's just say, more than enough shots to kill Daffy Duck, for want of a better term, I warmed down for about 15 minutes and stretching and just moving the body, because sometimes your body just goes straight into hurt mode after a game of golf.
It's a good point.
I thought you were actually did a really good job of keeping well lubricated at lunch, Dave.
But I had 15 minutes of warm down before I got the oil into the body, shall we say.
Oh, why was it that you continually were doing these elbow flexes that you're calling a warm down?
Just little glasses, but often.
I mean, I am interested. It's a good topic, and I was going to ask you about this before when we were talking about Andy Walker's injury concerns, because obviously, Dave, you've got a fair bit of experience on the senior circuit, and I've heard a number of people describe you in a variety of ways. Some of them use the word Adonis. Others may refer to you in terms such as Greek god, or I've even heard the phrase "fine specimen" used when talking
there
about
are
you.
other words that have been used. If there are certain people that you don't want to contact, and I won't give you the name, that say drunken sot, wino, and all that sort of stuff. But you remember the old saying, everything in moderation? 6 games of golf requires six bottles of wine. That's all in moderation.
Okay, so this is giving you some insight into how you keep yourself in such fine shape throughout the seniors tour, and if there's any pointers that you could give, some youngsters like us of how to look after the body and keep it in such fine fettle, we're all ears.
Well, injuries, as we know, are the biggest thing. I will stretch 3-4 times a day, whether it's the hamstrings, whether it's the shoulders. I know that sounds weird given
whether it's
my
the truth,
Adonis physique and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like the golf swing, it's a little bit about little and often. I don't necessarily subscribe to John Daly's theory that you can't strain a fat body. Let me clarify that. You can't strain fat, I think he said. But there you go, Steve, he's gone.
You got me.
But you've got to just keep stretching and keep organising. And even prior to sitting down for this podcast, just, I'll touch the toes, stretch the back. The whole thing about it is just keep yourself loose. It's when you tighten up and you just can't swing that's the problem. I think John Rahm's got problems coming up because I don't think he's ever had it past 12 o'clock on the backswing. He can't get much shorter on his swing. Andy, you've got quite a long swing, so as you get older, you can get a shorter swing and still be okay. But John Rahm, I just can't see his swing lasting because I just don't think he's that flexible. Flexibility is everything.
That is very interesting. And I know the older I get, the more important stretching becomes. It's never been something that I've been in love with because it's always been the thing you do before doing the thing you want to do. But it is more and more important all the time just to keep things moving in the right way.
Well, I also find it interesting that the major sponsor for New South Wales senior golf is Keyser. Now, Keyser are basically physiotherapists and they specialise in seniors and they specialise in golfers, Keiser. And quite often they'll turn up, and they did this at the Lakes, the Australian and Avondale, during the New South Wales Classic, and any golfer could come up and get a massage and a stretching on their physio desks before a game of golf.
That is good.
Yeah, look, and I think that I've been, I guess, a little bit fortunate because I've stretched now for a number of years. When I was in my early 20s, I did have a back injury that, was, pretty, I wouldn't say serious, but stopped me from playing golf for a little while. And I got some advice at the time and a stretching routine. And while I haven't, been super strict in doing it, I've been pretty consistent in doing it, which means that I still, just before I go to bed at night, spend sort of 15 minutes stretching. And, if I don't do that, I can't tie my shoelaces in the morning, which is why I do it before I go to bed. But that to me, the mobility and flexibility and keeping that I mean, yeah, as you get older, you do lose a little bit, but just trying to keep yourself mobile and flexible, I think is really important.
Yeah, it's just simple things. You don't need to go and lift weights and you don't need to go on 10-mile jogs. You just need to keep your body moving in such a way. If you're waiting in the kitchen for your cup of coffee to boil or whatever, just have a couple of swings and touch your toes and stretch, and the body will respond to it because all of a sudden it says, oh, I know what this is. I know what this is all about. I'm ready for the next one. And that's what it's all about.
So it's a similar concept then, Steve, I guess, to what you're doing in the high performance center, in that you're just doing little bits here.
It's
and
little
there.
and often. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's that exact same concept, which, as we've talked about, I'm doing the same thing in my garage in the Central Coast High Performance Center, and that seems to be sort of working as well. So I think there's definitely a lot to be said for little and often and consistent.
I think as well.
I just think.
Yeah. Sorry, I think as well on this, like this strikes at the whole thing of particularly people with families with jobs that don't have much time, and you always think, oh, if I don't have that half hour or hour to dedicate to doing something, I won't bother. But if you can carve out 5 minutes, and like you say, it's inside those other things that you're doing, if it's boiling the kettle or cooking dinner or whatever it might be, doing a few little things, everything you do is better than not doing anything because you're waiting for the big chunk.
I used a little bit of my business time. So if I was moving between clients and I just happened to go past a driving range around about lunchtime, it was just a pure accident that I stopped and hit a small bucket of balls for 15, 20 minutes instead of having a sandwich and a drink somewhere. I was actually hitting practice balls.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing the number of places that you went that the route had to take you past a driving range?
It was terrible the number of times I just had to stop there around about 12:30 and just wanted to make sure it was okay.
It's remarkable. I do have a question for you though, Dave, because we talked about keeping the body in some sort of shape, whatever shape that might be, so long as it's a shape, that's okay.
Adonis, yeah.
Yeah, and working on the swing. The mental side of things is something that we talk about a lot in the Missing Links Golf Show. Have you got any tips, any activities, any things that you do mentally to stay in the shape that you need to?
I did yoga for a couple of years when I was around about 50, 51.
Right.
I know that probably surprises Andrew Walker very much so that he can't see me doing stretching and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But the meditation that yoga also goes hand in hand with the yoga goes very, very well. And meditation is a simple thing as taking yourself out from the moment of all the worldly frustrations and, the interruptions, the emails, the text messages, the podcasts, for want of a better term, the worry about what I'm going to do to go, whether I'm going to play at Carnarvon or Killara and all that sort of stuff, and just settle down and be yourself with a clear mind. It could only be for 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then the next time you do it, it might be for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. It's amazing when you get on the first tee and you use that mental strength that you've learned through yoga to meditate, you go, that's the aiming point I want to hit to. So you've narrowed your aiming point and you just concentrate on that. It's a little thing. It's like exercising your body, you're exercising your mind to concentrate, not physically making yourself concentrate, but just become a habit. That's what you do. And that's very, very important.
Is that, do you think, enabling you to access that sort of thought process and that part of your brain or that mental state more readily when you need it?
Yeah, it's like, here's my backswing at golf. Here's my mental aspect of what I'm going to do on the first tee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you get into a routine, say we're using the laser to find out the distance, you then get into a routine. There's the pin. That's the bunker I want to carry. There's the wind going from left to right. There's the line, the fairway, go. Rather than, oh, what do I do next? Oh, it's about, 150 metres and I'll just hit that same club. It's more about the focus of just making sure in very simple terms, you keep it simple. And if you look at most of the golfers, and I watch the PGA Tour, some of the conversations they have, I just can't fathom because they go into in-depth the whole so much. To me, keep it simple. We're not professional golfers, just keep it simple.
Aim at the centre of the green.
That's what Bryson's trying to do, isn't he? Bryson's trying to keep it simple.
Bryson DeChambeau, I'm going to take it 10.5 inches back with a putter. Really?
Yeah.
Yes, different strokes for different folks.
Then, Dave, with the meditation, is it more that you're doing something like you're talking about yoga and using sort of yoga and meditation? So you're focused and being present on what you're doing, or are you more talking about sort of sitting in a quiet room and, sort of Buddhist monk type,
Both.
Yeah, right.
When you're doing yoga, yes, you're focused on trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve, hold the posture, hold this, hold that. But you go to the next stage, which is the meditation stage, which is more about clearing your mind of the daily clutter. It's almost like, let's take out the garbage, throw that out. And all you're doing is concentrating on one little thing. Some people put their fingers together and just concentrate on that. Some people close their eyes. Some people defocus the eyes. I defocus my eyes so that there's nothing that I can focus on that keeps my mind active. If you defocus your mind and defocus your eyes, you are present only in that moment. It's a very, very singular moment, is that you can not hear people, you cannot see things because you're just focused in that one moment.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, I mean, both Steve and I have talked about struggling with meditation and actually sitting down and being present and, the Buddhist monk type of meditation. I mean, I've got dogs, so I take the dogs out for a walk and I try and be present and, sort of like a walking meditation, but it's very different actually sitting down and, whether it be, just focusing on nothing or, there's a couple of guided meditations that I've tried in relation to golf to try and get a bit more focused with whether it be a golf swing or whatever. So, but yeah, Steve and I have really struggled with that concept of just the sitting down and just meditating. It's not the easiest thing to do.
So try to defocus your eyes, try to get into a quiet room to start with, and pick a point. As I said, some, just look at it that way, a point in their fingers. But if you concentrate on that point with the defocused eyes, you'll be amazed 1 minute goes really quickly. And once you do 1 minute, then you can do 2 minutes. Once you do 2 minutes, you can do 3 minutes. I think my record was 10 minutes with nothing else but focusing on that. It's also a trick I use on the plane when I'm between two rather large people in the middle row and I don't want to associate with them. I just try to defocus and take my mind out of the present to try and, oh my God.
Look, Andy Walker, I, as you know, have been trying to get back onto this process / bandwagon, whatever you want to call it, because every single guest that we have on this show who has more knowledge about the game and success and all of everything related to that than us continues to talk about the benefits of meditation. So there's clearly something in it. I've been trying to just spend a few minutes either last thing at night or first thing in the morning. Actually, I'll tell you, the first thing in the morning is so beneficial because what tends to happen is you wake up in the morning, mind's full of 1,000 things that you need to do that day. Temptation to grab the phone and, see what's been going on and check how many downloads the podcast got overnight whilst we were asleep in the Southern Hemisphere. But if you can avoid doing any of those things and just spend a couple of minutes, and for me it's actually focusing on breathing, just breaths in, breaths out to clear away all the other thoughts. Because I feel like you got to kind of have a focus on something. If it could be the fingers, it could be whatever. But the benefits of doing that have actually been quite noticeable just in terms of calmness then when you do get up and go about your day rather than sort of being a bit hectic. So I also think now listening to this conversation and your fallback of the active meditation that's been coined of the walking the dogs, I think you're in your comfort zone with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Doing a non-active meditation, a sitting meditation is definitely not in my comfort zone. It feels a little bit self-indulgent if I'm, being honest.
It does.
And we've talked about that before in that we've both got busy lives and, we don't have the, fortunate position at this stage of being a full-time, retired golfer.
We'll get there. But what if you set your alarm in the morning 3 minutes earlier and then before you did anything else, you spent that 3 minutes trying to quietly meditate and then you went about your day as you normally would? Could you do that?
Yeah, I could do that. Do that.
Okay, will you do that?
That's a very good question.
That's the important one.
Well, I'll throw a challenge out. Yes, the morning and the evening's important, but during the middle of the day, when your life is the most hectic, if you meditate for a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, that will actually benefit you more because you're actually taking yourself out of the hubbub of the day rather than before the hubbub of the day. And you'd be amazed that little 3-minute break in the middle of the day could actually benefit you a lot more than just first thing in the morning. Yeah,
fair point. I've got a board meeting coming up later in the week, so I reckon I could squeeze in about 4 hours of meditation during that.
I've got a board meeting tomorrow night. That's enough for me.
Yeah. So here's a question then, Steve. That 3 minutes in the morning, do I have to get out of bed?
No, you don't. You do have to remain conscious.
Oh.
Otherwise, you're not meditating. You're sleeping. It's slightly different.
I've meditated for like 7 hours prior to that, so like I should.
Yeah, that's not actually meditation. No, I generally stay in bed, wake up, stare at the ceiling, focus on breathing and centering, and just not pushing stuff out, but allowing whatever floats in to your mind to just float back out. To not be thinking about anything externally, and I actually find it really, really useful.
I think we've come to the nub of this conversation with all these, technical details of the swing and the order of merits and all that sort of stuff. I think you've actually reached what you need to today. It's almost like meditation plus that you've come to the decision on this now. It's time to do it for the next one, for the next month, guys.
I think it is.
Can we trust you to both do it?
I'm in. I'm all in. All right.
What about Mr. Walker?
Well, I mean, I've got a week's holiday coming up, so I probably will struggle to squeeze it in over the holidays. But look, I'm willing to.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
It's no better time than holiday.
Well, actually, because I am heading up to the Gold Coast, staying across the beach from at Coolangatta, so I could potentially go for a morning walk and just sit on the sand and cross my legs. And
I feel like you're disrespecting the process here, Andy Walker. I'm feeling a bit of judgment.
Resistance.
Yeah. You know, what do they say, Dave? Winners find a way, losers find excuses.
That's exactly right. And having just come back from Coolangatta and staying just across from the beach there on a number of occasions in a bar, meditating, there are some beautiful little chairs there and some beaches there, Snapper Rocks, Kira Beach, all that sort of stuff. It's perfect for a 6 a.m. or a 12 noon or a 3 o'clock in the afternoon debrief of your brain.
I like this. I like this middle of the day carve out, 3 to 5 minutes of breath work and meditating. I'm going to give this a run. Shut the office door. Zen. It's good.
What's that out on TV for ANZ? Don't interrupt me. I've got to do a borrow or a loan or something like that. That's on TV. So maybe just say, this is my breathing time.
Andy Walker's looking very dubious about this in the
I
top
know,
corner of the
but
screen.
he's done this since he was 14. You know what he's like. He just doesn't believe other people, you know.
Oh, maybe his history could have been different, David. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe.
he could have been an Australian champion by now if he'd done all this ahead of time and asked me before.
Yeah, you never know.
Like
I
me.
I think we've definitely hit on something. I think that's the message for this conversation. Andy Walker, have you got any other questions for our illustrious and wise and Adonis-like guest before we wrap this up? I know we've kept him a little
Just
longer
call
than
me
we planned.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No, look, I think we've covered a lot. Certainly the topics that that I wanted to cover, and no, just looking forward to getting out and beating Dave on the golf course again.
Oh,
Wow,
the shame of it all.
It's an unnecessary jibe. It's an unnecessary jibe. Dave, we love you here at the Missing Links Golf Show. Don't listen to a word of my co-host. We are thrilled that you came back for a second stint as a guest. We certainly hope there's a third stint in the not too distant future because, as always...
2nd of October, I believe, at Wyong Golf Club after the Senior Pro-Am.
Yep.
I will make sure that there's a 3-spot vacancy available in the presidential spot.
Magnificent.
And I just have to select the pro that we need to beat. So I'll make sure he's an easy beat.
Do I need to bring some fake ID to prove that I'm 50 at that point, or
no?
Okay, just checking.
Presidential requirement is like Donald Trump. It's just waived.
Okay, because I was going to say just checking.
Is that called presidential privilege?
Yeah, it is.
It's called presidential pardon.
Yeah, misuse. I was kind of looking forward to, just recapturing some of my youth with trying to dodgy up an ID to get allowed into a premises. But anyway, not that ever happened, ladies and gentlemen. Pilgrims, if you're listening, never did any of that happen, nor would I ever suggest anybody doing anything like that. It's terrible behaviour. David McClelland, national representative, state captain, all-round good bloke. Thank you so much for visiting us here at the Missing Links Golf Show once again. I know we certainly rambled off topic for a large portion of that interview, but we do appreciate the wisdom that you bring to our show. So great to see you again, mate.
And good luck with all the future podcasts, and I look forward to being back on after the 2nd of October when we come first, second and third in the Pro-Am.
Oh, mate, stop it.
You going to pick that order at this point in time, or
nope? I think I'll be back on 8 handicap by then, just to make sure Steve's under control.
Maybe I'll let it drift out a little bit before that event. Who knows?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, guys, have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Mate. We'll speak
See you later.
Andy Walker, that I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like that was like an extended, conversation in the 19th.
Yes,
I think for a lot of it.
Look, I sort of felt a little bit under the gun.
What do you think?
Two blokes rather than one,
sort
of having a crack. But look, an incredible amount of great information, incredible amount of random information. I must admit, I didn't expect DMC to have been a yoga participant.
No.
That's unusual. I didn't expect that at all. In all the time I've spent with DMC, which is significant, that's never come out, and that was unexpected.
It's the beauty of the Missing Links Golf Show, Andy Walker, right there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't started watching our YouTube channel, this is probably the episode to kick it off with. Because I think you'll understand when you actually watch the episode rather than just listen to the episode why Andy Walker's so surprised that Dave's confessed his love for yoga. I too am surprised. But it's good. I think it's good. We talked about it during the interview, but everyone we talk to just continues to talk about the importance of meditation. There's clearly something to it, and we obviously have been late to the show when it comes to that.
Yeah. And look, Dave's always been very strong mentally. That's one of the things that, we've talked about a lot, and I learnt from him. I mean, it was my old man that was the one who was like, you never give up, you never give in, you always sort of try your best, and that was. I saw that in action with DMC. I mean, he was never dead. Like, you always knew that you had to be on your game, and when you're playing him, you couldn't take the foot off the throat. If you're ahead, you had to keep going. You had to have the accelerator down. Otherwise, he was going to come back and beat you. And he's just that sort of guy. So that's what I learnt my golf on. From Dad actually drilling it into me as a kid to then actually watching it with Dave. So
it's a good lesson.
I feel pretty grateful that was my sort of I guess apprenticeship coming into golf.
No, it's definitely a very, very good lesson. I think you see it clearly, and I think you can hear it in a lot of the stories that he tells and the experiences that he's had. But to have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with someone that's represented their country on a number of occasions is always special. Obviously you've played a lot of golf with him. I've been fortunate to have 1 or 2 rounds with him now, and that is a lot of fun. He's a good guy on the golf course. He's, calls it as it is. He's pretty funny. He's always got a good yarn and a good one-liner, and he's great company out there. And, I can't wait for the Pro-Am. Hopefully that invite comes through for later in the year.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Because
look,
that'll be good.
He's never not come through.
Yeah.
If he's the type of bloke that if he says he's going to do something, you can almost guarantee it's going to be done.
Oh, I'm sure. And that might be, that might require me to take a day off work either side of that event for the drive down, and give myself an opportunity to be fit and proper for the drive home.
Yes.
But no, we look forward to that. And Andy Walker, there is, I guess, where are we up to? There's a round of golf coming up for you. A shame about the Carnarvon seniors, but we're certainly looking forward to hearing more about the round that you have in your local club comp tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah. And look, as I said in the interview, it's I'm not too disappointed that it was rescheduled. Gives me a little bit more time. As I said, I would have been underdone coming into today. I haven't played a comp round since, I played in a comp a couple of days after Camden. But since then I haven't played in a comp round. So I would have been underdone. Gives me a chance to get over this injury, get some comp rounds under my belt, get some more practice in, spend some more time in the high performance center. And come September, I'm actually really looking forward to September. I reckon September's just within my sort of time frame to be able to start playing some, I've been playing well already, but to really sort of, nail it, to get consistent around, that par, maybe shooting sort of 1 or 2 under par. And I reckon I got a reasonable chance.
It is exciting. It's very exciting. And another thought that kind of came to me this morning when I was thinking about this, and obviously hearing about the fact that Carnarvon was washed out and some of the challenges that I've had recently as well, with particularly cold days that we've been through with trying to get out in regional New South Wales to play golf in those sorts of conditions. And, we often talk about the fact that we don't have an off season in Australia for golf. We play year round, which is true, but I kind of feel this year it's almost like we're having a mini, like semi off season, because it's certainly difficult to get out and practice properly and, kind of get as many rounds in. There's definitely no option for 9 holes after work or before work or anything like that, which you can do in the summer months. So it definitely changes the game. There's no doubting that.
Yeah. I was reading only sort of, might have been over the weekend actually, that last weekend was Sydney's 6th weekend in a row of rain. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then sort of you think Sydney, it sort of then sort of goes out, certainly comes up the coast and goes down the coast. Sometimes it doesn't get over the mountains, but you guys would have had a little bit of rain as well.
No, we have. Like a lot of these big events have actually been coming right across the eastern seaboard of the country, and that's from southern Queensland through pretty much all of New South Wales and down south into Victoria. So I think we probably haven't had as much rain as what you've had east of the mountains on the coast, but we've definitely had quite a bit, and we have had a lot of frosty mornings, a lot of foggy mornings, and a lot of those other weather conditions that really limit the amount of tea times that people are able to use. So in some respects, it's not an off season, but it's definitely not as on as the summer is.
No, definitely not. And it's just a lack of opportunity, I think, rather than, the cold and winter in Australia, you can deal with that on the golf course, but not when it's wet and it's sodden and, because it's so cold, nothing really dries up. And that's, you don't need a lot of rain once the ground's already pretty sodden to then just have a washout. And that's basically what's happened with Carnarvon.
Yeah, no, that's right. But Andy Walker, all this talk of cold weather is making me think that we need to throw another log on the campfire. Maybe open a nice 18-year-old whiskey or something like that as well, just to warm the bones from the inside. But whilst we do that, where can our pilgrims find us, Andy Walker? I think we're out and about there somewhere on socials.
We do. We're on Facebook.
Are we? It's exciting.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, the Missing Links Golf Show. I think it's our
creative
handle.
title. Yep.
Yep. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
Which I think is TML
Golf Show.
Golf Show.
It is. It's what it is.
Okay. We're on Insta. I know we're on Insta. Have absolutely no idea what our handle is with Insta, so you'll have to help me out there.
Pretty sure it's Missing Links Golf on Insta.
Okay.
Another creative title.
You know what's the most creative? It's our email address, which is the missinglinksgolfshow@gmail.com.
It is. It's very creative. Or, you could send us a text message directly. You could just whack the old send us a text message button on the show notes.
So there are a multitude of ways to send us a message.
You know what no one has done yet? And I'm wagging the finger. Okay.
No one's tapped us on the shoulder.
On the golf course.
Out on the golf course.
Well, no one that we don't already know, but plenty of people that we do already know that are pilgrims of the show. They've done that. No, what no one has done yet, and this surprises me a little bit, is really embrace the concept of the voice of the pilgrims, Andy Walker, by recording a voice memo and sending that to us. Because if you did that, there's a possibility that actually could get played live on a podcast episode, and we could hear your voice of the pilgrims.
Wow. I like it.
That's possible. I like it. So just throwing that one out there if anyone wants to give that a shot.
And look, there's plenty of ways to record yourself in this day and age. So
I know we seem to manage it on a weekly basis, so it can't be that hard.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, on that note, Andy Walker, as I reach for the next split log to throw on the campfire, any final messages for our pilgrims?
Well, look, on this cold winter's evening, there's really just one thing left to do after throwing a log on the fire, and that is to rock out, pilgrims.
Sounds good to me.